The HMS Challenger was a research vessel provisioned by the Royal Navy that voyaged around the world between 1872 and 1876. Primarily, its mission was to conduct scientific research on the oceans, but it had a second objective to record the societies and their environments that it encountered with photography. On its voyage, it called into the port of Yokohama on the 12th April and proceeded to stay in Japan for 2 months. There it enjoyed the most pleasant of all its port of calls and recorded the landscape of a country that would soon be gripped fully by industrialization. For centuries the Japanese society were believed to have lived in balance with their landscape, but the consequences of industrialization left an impression on the landscape in such a dramatic way so as to distort that balance in the name of progress. I wish to create a body of work that investigates this, often overlooked imbalance in the Japanese landscape whilst drawing parallels with contemporary and personal issues surrounding traditional and digital photography. Objectives: create a well-researched and educational body of works that draw parallels between the Japanese landscape and photography. Confront issues within my own environment and my own personal demons in photography. Establish a professional practice, which can be sustained beyond the duration of the course. Rationale: these photographs of Japan, taken by Jesse Lay, the ship's photographer at that time, depicted waterfalls, temples, rivers and houses at a time where Japan had only been open officially as a country for 8 years. The consequences of Japan's expansion are well documented, as is the traditional, romanticist view of the landscape depicted often in films, movies, television, books, and manga. Yet, as Alex Kerr writes, one of the persistent myths about Japan held by many Japanese and accepted unthinkingly by Western observers is that in the Golden Age before Commodore Perry arrived, the Japanese dwelt innocently in harmony with nature and that only with the arrival of Westerners did they learn to attack and subdue the environment. Kerr goes on to suspect that the seeds were sown long before Westerners arrived, and writing in the latter half of the 19th century, the art critic George Rittner would appear to offer us a reason why. No country in the world is probably so artistic as Japan. Should a stream not harmonize with a mountain, it will have its course altered. Should an inartistic tree have the insolence to grow on a hillside covered with mauve and white azaleas, it will be cut down. Nothing may look out of place. The Japanese aesthetic is present in every Zen garden, every modern office complex and every Muji department store. It is minimal, elegant and calming, but it has a dark side. It is the engine behind the rapid, ever-shifting scenery, whereby the landscape is constantly regenerated, whether it is necessary or not, and the history is constantly removed. Nothing is more informative than the information in a scene, and the Challenger's photographs are typical visual documents of a Victorian age obsessed with seeing and knowing. In this time, for the lower classes in Britain, photography was a window to the world. Now though, photography is no longer the medium of the technician when all that is necessary is the information. Jesse Lay himself was not a great technician. Nowadays, modern devices such as camera cell phones require little skill, are easy to use and thus essentially threaten to hand the medium back to the masses again. Images are losing ownership simply because they have no permanence. Like throughout my previous works, revisiting and redocumenting the original landscapes in the Challenger photographs signals the beginning of a journey, whereby I am pushing myself to see more. There is a parallel to be drawn between the condition of the Japanese landscape and the condition of photography. Photography could disappear as much as the ideal Japanese landscape as it is gradually being supplanted by video in the visual Lanyu gauge. I have a photographic eye, but I want to know why photographs are never enough for me. Outcomes: on completion of this project, I will be able to demonstrate a final exhibition to be exhibited simultaneously in England, Japan and online. A series of photographs that redocument the same locations in the original photographs. These will be given to the Natural History Museum, London, to be added to their collection. A midterm exhibition in June 2007 of the redocumented series of photographs. A body of artworks that cast light upon the imbalance in the Japanese landscape. an edited journal and record of my investigations. Sufficient knowledge of the Meiji period in Japanese history. Research and investigation skills. A contextual awareness of photography and photographic issues in contemporary society. Practical skills in managing and working with assistants. Practical skills in negotiation with various cultural, public and institutional bodies. In other words, not much. Media. Throughout this project, I propose to use a variety of media to explore and achieve the aims. An online journal will document and develop my findings and ideas as the project progresses through each stage. I intend to redocument the original landscapes using a cell phone camera, a digital video camera and a hybrid camera consisting of a vintage lens combined with a digital process. I also propose to make websites and use online journals as a medium for conveying some of my concepts as works themselves. Methodology. This project will commence with the research and seeking out of the original locations in the Challenger photographs and redocumenting them, the images of which will be given to the Natural History Museum, London as part of their collection, using various camera devices. Through evaluation of my findings and travels, this research will form a platform from which to explore and draw parallels between the landscape and photography. Comparisons will be documented and expanded, as I plan to continue experimenting with hybridizing old and new camera technologies as well as develop the research into possible video and installation works. A selection of works will then be carefully chosen and exhibited simultaneously in England, Japan and online. Research. The contemporary issues of photography and the condition of the Japanese landscape will be researched throughout the project's various stages, but I expect some major developments will occur in the first two stages. I will refer to historical and contemporary writings on photography as well as research the Meiji period in Japan and the structures adopted within it. I intend also to contextualize my work by researching contemporary art that relates to my investigation and to research in particular the work of artists who embrace the information in photography such as the Betchers, Naoya Hadakeyama and Andreas Gursky. Possible risks. Other than the obvious risks in a country that sits on 3 tectonic plates, an extensive list with regards to exhibiting can be found in my paper proposal. For further information about my project, visit this website. For updates, visit this blog. Thank you very much for your time. Blimey, I'm tired.